and welcome to the channel. I'm Alina and I will be hosting today's video. Language learning can be a challenge for everyone because obviously it is. If it was easy, everyone would be speaking 7+ languages. However, I've seen way too many people not even starting to learn a language, even if they truly want to, just because they think it is going to be impossible. This stems from the idea that language learning has to be extremely disciplined, like, I don't know, studying for 7 hours a day, learning 200 words. However, as someone who speaks 6 languages and is learning her 7th, I can confirm that this is absolutely not the case. Of course, studying in such a way can work, but it is extremely easy to lose your motivation and therefore consistency. And consistency is what we need when learning a language, because even if you know a language very fluently, if you do not practice it in some way or another, you will lose that language. It will just go back in your brain and be stored in one of those dusty shells. So, we will today explore some of the easier and more fun, hopefully, ways of learning a language, which is not just sitting and studying, sitting and memorizing either. The most important thing when learning a language by far is immersion. If you do not live in a country where the target language is spoken or is the official language, this can be extremely hard for you to do. So we will take the principle of immersion and put it in a passive learning way. First off, you need to watch stuff. And by stuff, I mean anything that is watchable. One of the easiest ways of actually immersing yourself by watching stuff is on YouTube. On YouTube, you can find many TV shows, movies, and other kinds of media that are for free. And these are extremely good because you will be hearing daily language. And here the trick is to not care if you understand or not. Watching things is also good because you will get clues from the props in the media, especially if it's a movie or a TV show. I will film a separate video on how to watch TV shows and movies to learn a language, how and when to use subtitles, in which language to use subtitles, and how to use dubs. And that will be coming at some point. This is like the main principle. You just sit and watch something. You do not have to pay full attention and translate every single word that you hear. That is not the point. The point is immersion. The point is to find words that you already know. For example, other than watching stuff, you can listen to stuff. This is obviously same principle as watching stuff, immersion. However, it can be slightly more fun if you're listening to music. I'm currently learning Spanish at a very beginner level, and my favorite method of immersion is to listen to music, and this will definitely both make you learn the language very passively, but also it will help you have a good time. For example, while working out, you could just listen to songs in your target language. Of course, music is my first point because learning words through music, through melody, is the easiest way of actually learning the words, because you may have noticed you can listen to one song for 5 times and you already know most of the lyrics because of the musical tone that is coming with it. But sitting and memorizing the same amount of words will take you so much longer and it will be so much less fun. I will also recommend podcasts. However, I will not be very pushy with this one because podcasts are usually very specific or very general, and you have to try them all to see if they work for you or if they work in your target language. But something I will actually recommend is audiobooks. Again, continuing on with the immersion principle, you do not have to understand everything, you do not have to care about every single word that is being said, you just need to listen. I'm gonna ask all of you to just sit down and read. I think reading is the best way of learning a language. I will make a separate video on this. Reading is amazing because you'll see grammar, vocabulary, and everything else, everything in between, in their place. Books, articles, they are written by writers, by authors, and they're heavily edited. Grammar, sitting and memorizing grammar rules is not the way to go. When you're reading in this way, things that you already learned will stick really well, and you will also learn new things along the way. My favorite way of doing this is to just read until some of the words, you will notice that some of the words are used much more frequently than others, and Learning those frequent words that are used in the book will help you both increase your vocabulary, but also is a very easy way of learning a language. You could even start with 1 page a day. The point is to stay consistent. You can combine audiobooks with physical books. This is a gem actually, because you will not have to worry about pronunciation. Many audiobooks are recorded very slowly and steadily. You do not have to rush. You can go back and re-listen. You can listen while reading, and this will help you learn in 2 ways. The last way of immersion is to label things around you. You should just take some post-its and name the objects around. And this is important because you will not have to sit down and memorize. You will be seeing these words on their corresponding objects, and this will help you learn them passively but effectively. You can start by writing the word itself, curtain, and then you can go on and on and on to describe it. I don't know, short curtain, pink, tulle, flower printed, for example. By seeing your things, your objects, you will learn no matter what. It's more on the immersion side because you're not sitting and studying, but you're seeing these things. You can do this in your fridge, you can do this in your pantry, you can do this anywhere to any object that you see. Other than immersion, you should practice your retrieval. Retention is extremely important because speaking a language and understanding a language are 2 different processes in your brain. This means you have to practice both of them pretty much equally to ensure you're speaking as well. Something that I hate seeing online as a tip for learning a language is to just talk. I think this point is a very stupid one that is being sold to people as a method of learning a language. Of course, you need to talk to learn a language and to establish a better level of speaking. However, this is not possible for many people because they're not privileged enough to have someone that speaks that language or can go to places where the language is spoken. I see that many people who hear this tip over and over and over think that they will not be able to learn a language because they do not have this method of learning. We are going to do this with as little effort as possible. When doing anything, I am talking to myself and then I'll try to move that to my target language. Even the most basic things like what should I eat for dinner today will help you practice. While cooking, you could try to name your ingredients, you could try to name the steps that you're doing, you could even pretend that you have a YouTube channel and you're talking to your audience. And since there is no audience that is listening to you, you will not have this extreme pressure on you and you will be still practicing. Everything is practice, even thinking is practice. If you do not know a word, just skip and continue on or try to say it with other words. And this is important because 1, you will not be putting pressure on yourself, but also 2, speaking a language means getting around some things. You do not have to remember every single word in every single language that you're learning or that you have learned. I speak 6 languages and I do not know every language perfectly. By perfectly, I mean knowing every single word in existence, because that is almost impossible and sometimes you will forget words. If you do this frequently enough, you will come up with words that you do not know, but at some point, your curiosity will arise and it will make you want to know what that word is. I'm sure you all know that curiosity will help you learn more efficiently, more easily, and you will not feel any pressure learning those words. Along with talking to yourself, you can write. I think writing on a journal or a diary for, 5-10 minutes a day is the best way of learning a language because, again, it's daily talk, but also you will need some amount of grammar because grammar is really important, okay? Do not skip your grammar. You will not be able to speak the language if you do not know grammar. You do not need to just be understood by natives. You should aim to know the language. And this includes the grammar, because grammar includes the building blocks of your language. The most important thing here is to stay consistent, and I think the way to go with this one is to just make sure that you write at least, 3 times a week or every day, however you please. Just set this into a routine and make sure that you follow that routine that you have set. You'll see very good results from this because, again, you will focus on your consistency and the fun that you're having. If you do not want to write in your diary, for example, You could even go with simpler things like your to-do lists, and this will also help you learn and practice words without putting too much effort into them. If you do a journal, you can look up prompts in your target language. Of course, this is for more advanced people, but you could also go on and write about different topics. For example, favorite movies, favorite shows, favorite books. If you do continue along the line of using different prompts and writing in your diary, you will have pretty much covered any topic that you might need for at least like a B1 level. And this is again important because when you're speaking to someone, naturally you will want to talk about your hobbies, what you do daily, or where you study, where you work, and this will again help you so much. So when it comes to recapping everything, main principles in learning a language are immersion and retention. To create immersion in your target language, you need to surround yourself with all kinds of media in that target language. This could be news. You could follow accounts on social media where you see the language. You could go on YouTube and watch TV shows, movies, but also general YouTube videos made by YouTubers. You could listen to music, podcasts, and audiobooks, as well as read. This could be fictional books, children's books, articles, news, anything. Just anything that suits you and that you enjoy. Other than this, you can label objects and see them every day, and these are all pretty much passive learning. And then for your retention, you talk to yourself and writing. Ranging from your to-do list to your journal, you should be writing something every day to make sure that you can recall everything that you're learning. If you're learning multiple languages, I would recommend that you use some of these methods for one and some others for the other. And again, it's about enjoyment, and not everyone is the same. You should try and see for yourself. Just because someone said that something does not work for them, do not scrap it and throw it away. If something works for you, then you should go with it. I promise that you will notice a huge difference in both your curiosity and interest in the language, but also your results. If you have any requests for me to film, please feel free to ask. I am always open to recommendations and requests. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that you took away something from this and that you enjoy your language learning experience. Bye!